And welcome back. Today we are flying out the BI-1 for the Russian Tech 3, the event vehicle that I said probably wouldn't be worth that much in the long run. Look at it now, it's about 200 guys in, if not more. This is one of the most broken planes in the game, and it's at 6.7 now. In the video here I'm still at 6.3, but I made sure to include all the matches that are still possible today. I got quite a few matches for you today. I got an 8 kill game, 7 of which were in 1 ammo load, and then another ace, second ace, 6 kill game, as well as a 1v4, in all of which I didn't have to reload, because the main problem of this plane is actually not the ammo, it's the fuel. And the fuel is also not really that much of a problem, because if you run it on 20% throttle, your fuel lasts about 13 times as much. Doesn't make any sense, but that's just how it is. So what makes this plane so strong? Well, the thing is, it accelerates with the F104S off the runway, if that should tell you anything. It goes about 880 kilometers an hour. Do keep in mind that above 700 the compression becomes absolutely unbearable. Anything under that, it is pretty damn nimble, and it will be able to 1v1 something like the 163 pretty handily in that regard. So we go up, guy tries to stall himself out for us, so we just fall back down on top of him, and he is, well, very easily killed, because well, he can't really do much. Then these guys get above me, I just throttle up for about 5 to 10 seconds, and look at the separation I'm gaining instantly. It is pretty ridiculous. We just pull this into a little bit of a spiral. I'm gonna get these guys as slow as I can, and then I'm gonna chop throttle. I can just cruise it on 30% and kill all of these guys on my own, without much issues. The A7M here is going to be my main target, because he has the most nose authority at very low speeds, making it so that even if I stall him out, he probably is going to get his nose on me. So I wait for him to stall out, I pick him out first, we shoot a little bit at him, we set him on fire, and then we make sure that the second guy that got above us doesn't actually cut into a flight path and shove some A&M trees up our ass. He doesn't, and we just go straight back up. And the first FAF is now also pitching up again, and the guy on my 6 is not going to be getting the shot. So what do? We go for the other one, we go horizontal for a little bit, and the F8F here, if he doesn't commit in that head-on, is going to die. He does commit in the head-on, and the I-225 also manages to take quite a bit of damage, and he is going to be RTB. The F8F there was completely dead. I would have killed him as well without the other one intervening, but now we are going to go for the J6K. The J6K decided to side climb a little bit, and in the long run that's actually not going to accomplish anything, because if I throttle up for about 5 seconds, his entire energy advantage will be negated, and he will be back to square one. And square one will be back to the runway, because that's where most people, well, fly towards once they get in a fight with this thing. And I can't necessarily blame them, because this thing is almost impossible to kill. Even, well, when it camps the runway, if it lands and it doesn't have any damage, it can instantly J out, and it's gonna be instantly back in the air too. There is really not much the enemy can do versus this thing, and this thing should be a higher BI. You can argue that yes, it's gonna struggle actually killing jets, because they are just too fast, and above 700 you just completely compress. But is it more fair to have this thing fight things that it struggles with killing, or having every plane in the match struggling to kill this thing? I know which sounds more fair. This J6K is actually doing a pretty decent job at evading me, but it doesn't really matter what he does, because at the end of the day I'm just going to be able to sit on the 6, and if I ever am in a slight pickle, in a slight bit of danger, I can just throttle up and go straight up, and there is nothing he can do about it unless I run out of fuel. But here he goes, gradually going towards his airfield, but it doesn't really matter, because I'm extremely close. Down he goes, killed him so hard his camo disappeared. And here we are on a night map. This time we are going to be facing 7.0 and up, or 6.0 to 7.0 actually, but we are going to be facing quite a few jets, like the F80, we have the A2Ds and quite a few F2Gs, and of course the Junker 288s, because they are just straight up everywhere. First burst, crit him, he managed to damage one of his engines, he's gonna burn one up, at least with the oil leak, so he should not be a problem in the long run. He's still shooting at us, not a big deal. I'm not gonna go for the second one, because now I'm gonna be focusing on the fighters, and this is gonna be a little bit of a carry match, because we are gonna be vastly outnumbered, and we are going to be juggling quite a few people at once. So I'm still struggling on cruising on 30%. I'm simply looking around, seeing who is high, who is vulnerable target, and who can I kill the easiest without getting, well, jumped by someone else. And the nice thing about this thing is, if you are 1v1 and there's nothing really above you that can really dive on you, if you're 1v1ing someone and you can take your time, basically everything is going to die, and you can really just take your time with getting a shot. And I go for the F80 here instead of the two P51s in front of me, because the F80 will prove much more of a problem in the long run, and I really just want to kill this guy. We go up and over. There's no way he's going to be getting that shot, and I'm hoping that he's going to pitch up for us, but he won't. He is actually going to play it pretty smart throughout this game, and he's going to make it so that this match is going to be a lot more interesting, because he didn't just kill himself at the first chance he got. We have an A2D here as well as two P51s still coming from the same direction, but I want to dive on the A2D because he is a prime target right now. He's very slow, very easy target, and if I'm engaging someone else, there's a big chance that those P51s will think about actually engaging me, because I am clearly occupied and they have a pretty good position on me. Looking at the plural of P51s, one of them already dove to the deck, Young Eagle over there. So now it's only this guy that's above us. The A2D is crit, and this P51 is now the only guy above us that poses, well, he doesn't actually pose a threat, but he's the most dangerous person in the lobby right now. He is above us, and if we are gonna dogfight, say, the F80, and he goes up and we have to go vertical as well, the P51 can very easily catch us off guard. And I just decided to do this for gameplay sake, or showcase sake. I go to 50% throttle, he's diving on us, I go into a climb, and I'm gonna be outrunning him. That's just the nature of this plane. Basically any energy advantage you have versus this thing means absolutely dick all. The only thing that really counters this plane is the compression, so always try to keep your plane above 750 basically. The thing is, if you are on a prop, you cannot dive at 750 forever. You are gonna run out of altitude to turn into speed eventually, which makes this thing basically uncounterable by anything that isn't a jet. But right now I'm just looking around, I'm really just deciding who to engage, and the 262 over there is a jet and he can make my life pretty difficult, but at the same time it is a jet with MK108s. They're very slow and he is very likely to never actually hit me, so he is not going to be my main target right now. He can be very annoying in the terms of just being able to run away forever, but he is not really a real threat. Right now there's a P51H right below me as well as the 262. They are both flying away from me, and they are busy shooting someone else, so I thought, good target to go for them. Went for the P51H first because he's closer and more dangerous in my eyes. He broke off, and the 262 is simply way too slow now. And we are alone on this side of the map, and we are alone here. There's 4 guys. So I'm just gonna try to kill as many of these people as quickly as I can before the Yak-15 goes down, because as long as he serves as bait, I should be able to get some easy kills in. As I say that, the Yak-15 actually goes down, and the P51H is so damn slow that he's doing absolutely nothing. So we just click on him, we dodge the 50 cal spray of the F2Gs, and we are just gonna basically ignore the 262 because he's doing absolutely nothing to us. We dodge the F2G, the first one, and now we are gonna just spiral the second one, and I outturn these guys, especially with flaps, and I'm going to completely out energy them, so I can just basically ignore whatever they are doing and just see who is going to be stalling out first. And the one that stalls out first is going to be dying first. See something get spotted, it's only a Junker 288, so we are going to be ignoring him as well, and the first F2G is now going to be diving out, and the second one is actually extending the other way. And this is very smart play on their end, because this makes it so that I have to go for one, and as I'm going for one, the other one gets on my 6, and here he comes, but unfortunately for him, I'm in the BI-1, so he's just gonna dodge his guns and do the same thing all over again. We go straight up, I'm gonna put all this energy into a turn, and I am still on 50% throttle. I want you to take note of that, because I'm not even using the full potential of this thing. I'm still on economy mode. I do throttle up a little bit here to complete my turn just a little bit quicker, and then we throttle back down again as we are about to get the shot. F2G is extremely slow, we set him on fire and kill his pilot and his entire plane, and that's going to be kill number 4 with only 50 rounds. So what do we do now? The same thing as we have been the entire match. A2D goes down, we don't even get the assist for it, which is kind of unfortunate, and we are gonna tangle with the F80. They say so gay, and I completely agree. I kind of feel bad for flying this thing, but it's pretty funny at the same time. So we have an F80, and he is actually going to be the main threat here. He is a very dangerous plane. He can actually outrun us to a certain degree if he, well, doesn't fly in a straight line completely, because we are not able to actually stay on his 6. And he decides to go up for us, tries to actually get a shot on us, and I'm just going to make sure that he doesn't get the shot by going a little bit horizontal and then up, breaking his line of fire, and then got the throttle a little bit to not go that fast, and he's gonna stall out directly ahead of us. Now we are gonna get very closely on the 6. He gets hit by AA. Not that it really matters at this point, but the AA here is gonna be returning quality of multiple matches. He is very slow. He gets hit once, and he gets hit a second time. And now he is crit, and it's just a matter of sitting on the 6. He rolls into a tree, and that is the game basically. We are gonna go RTB, and we are gonna cut over Junker 288. That is gonna fly back to his airfield after he completed one of his bombing runs. So we are gonna pitch up for him. We have 16 rounds left, so all I need to do now is basically hit all my shots, and there's a big chance that he is gonna go down. But do keep in mind, the Shavaks are pretty good right now. They hit extremely hard, but they are still not that great versus planes like a bomber, especially when it's a 288 that has an absolute tank of a flight model. We hit him with the first burst. We still have 6 rounds left. He is going to be crit at least. He's going to struggle keeping that up to a certain degree, and we are going to pitch up here and see if we can take him down at point blank. Shoot more rounds. We get another hit. We are out of ammo. He is going to land it, not get killed. And after landing and rearming, we are gonna engage another 288. And this is gonna be, I'm gonna show you how hard this thing compresses. This is full pull. This is me with my keyboard applying 100% of the elevator. It goes absolutely nowhere, and this makes it so that if someone keeps its speed, and especially if he has gunners, because it makes it very annoying to actually get on someone's 6 and then throttle drop, because if you go too slow, he's gonna gun you down. And if you go too fast, you are gonna compress. So right now I'm just trying to maintain my altitude. I'm trying to get in front of him, so that's exactly what we try to do. We get hit by AA, we get hit by AA again, and there goes my engine. That's game. We then proceed to win it because the J7W, I believe, it's pretty long ago, I don't completely remember. I said is okay, and now I am dead. And then the game after, the literal game afterwards, here we go. We get one shot by AA yet again. What a great mechanic. So we go ahead on with the AD4, and we just go up. There's nothing he's really going to be doing, and it's going to be the game where we get 7 kills plus 1 after rearming, and that's going to be an 8 kill game in the BI-1. So we go with the AD4. Luckily for us, he manages to kill him in the full commit head-on. He is then going to go for the 109 K4 and stalls himself out. So we get a very easy shot, shoot 2 rounds, sets on fire, instantly dies, and he manages to kill the K4 just before we manage to kill him. And that is going to be kill number 1. So we are just going to merge again with the main furball of the fight, and the reason I went for the 84 at the start is because I'm being very greedy. I'm trying to get a high kill game in this thing. So killing an attacker and then simply pitching back up and getting all your altitude back is the best way to do that, because you can kill the attackers and then still go and fight the other guys on the match as well. You are never really in a vulnerable position as long as you are facing props. It is kind of stupid, but it is just what it is. And I'm just throttling up here to about 33%. I see the F2G, so we're gonna throttle up a little bit more, and we are just very easily just gonna cruise up to his altitude and then shoot him down, as long as he doesn't go evasive too much. And you notice that I'm not really talking much about tactics, because there really is not much you can do wrong in this thing other than compress and maybe overcommit in something like a head-on, or go too fast on someone's 6 and overshoot, stuff like that. But in general, this thing is virtually untouchable. I have my deaths to AA at the end of the day. So we went for the first guy, but he is flying the opposite direction. We are going to be compressing. He's the one that dove all the way to the deck. And then the F2G, the second one, is pitching up for us. Prime target, so we switch. We instantly go for him, and he very easily dies. F2G here is going to go straight vertical. The 109 is going to miss him, and the other J21 is going to do the exact same thing. So we are just going to pitch up for him as well. And click, and we miss. Pretty unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter, because you just turn around in this thing and then we engage him instantly anyway. So I'm still looking around. I'm trying to see if I don't get jumped by someone, because I am a bit of a prime target. Even if you are in a group, expect people to go for you and not the guys next to you, because if anyone has ever the opportunity to kill this thing, they should take it with both hands. And really, they need to take you down whenever they can, because if you are paying attention to someone, very likely you are not gonna die to them. We set him on fire, we break off. There's a Narval on R6, absolutely appallingly bad plane, but he's on R6 with a lot of guns, and I don't really want to deal with that. So we just straighten out for a little bit. We get a little bit of altitude back. And we just come back in once they are not paying attention. Because if people are paying attention to you, yes, you can kill basically everything. But in a group setting, sometimes you don't have an infinite amount of shots. Especially if there's also teammates of yours around. Because you actually want to kill these guys. So coming in third partying is still the most effective way. Especially in a group fight. Opposed to trying to kill everyone that's paying attention to you. Because at the end of the day, you still do not have a lot of ammo. These guns hit really hard. But if people are paying attention and really dodging you well, you find yourself to run out of these rounds pretty quickly. I now have 3 guys on my 6. The J21 also goes down. And I just want to make sure that I outrun this F2G. So I'm going to make him maneuver as much as I can while completely throttling up. And very quickly I will be outrunning him. That shot could have easily killed my engine. This engine is extremely fragile. And we just kind of throttle up, climb away. And then throttle back down and loop back over. Still looking at who to engage, and the F2G is probably the most dangerous plane at the moment. Because he is going to be the fastest. The Ki 84, not the same thing as with the A7 at the start where I said he has the most amount of nose authority. Because the Ki 84 doesn't have anywhere near as much nose authority at those speeds as something like the A7M does. F2G goes down and we are going to turn back in for the Ki 84 as well as the F2G. And now it's a 3v2, so we should pretty easily win this, because this plane will win it on its own. As long as I don't get hit by a stray 50 cal or something along those lines. Still 36 rounds left, which should be more than sufficient. Ki 84 here is going to turn away, and I'm not going to be able to get the shot on him. And I'm going to compress a little bit as well, and I don't really look forward to that. So instead I'm just going to continue on for the F2G here. But then I see that he gets crit by the Yak-3U, and I'm not going to steal his kill, so we break back off and go for the Ki 84. Finn McMissile here in the Dorado is going to do absolutely nothing. So I don't want him to die. And we are just going to commit back to the Ki 84. Because he's extremely slow and he's going to prove a pretty easy kill here. He is very, very slow. Just line up the guns, click once, shoot off a still basically, hit him again, and he still isn't dead. Yak-3U says returning to the airfield, and the F2G looks to be getting an angle on him on his 6, so we are now gonna actually go back and engage this guy. Up we go, we turn into him. There's really nothing he can do. I still have 40 seconds of fuel. So we shoot once, we miss, which is unfortunate. We turn back in, and again there's just nothing he can really do. Nice dick on your plane, by the way, Captain Strong. That's a pretty strong penis. There are still 3 guys. One of them is among us. I'm not too sure where he is exactly, but he should be somewhere above us. There he is, Kika right behind us. And the Kika is also one of those planes that's very annoying to face in this thing. But he's so busy trying to go for the Dorado that he completely, well, he doesn't really look at me. He doesn't think I'm sus or something, and he goes straight up. And even though he had much more energy than us, we just pitch up for him. And we are going to be catching him basically instantly. So you run him down very handily, and the thing you want to do here is just dive out, get as much speed as you can, because the slower you go, the harder you are going to die. We shoot 1 round basically, and it goes right into his cockpit. The Ki 84 then manages to fly into AA, probably could have killed him as well, but it is just what it is. And we pitch straight up for the G8N, that is now at very high altitude, and this is another big flaw of this plane. This plane is extremely bad at dealing with bombers at high altitude. And why is that, you might ask? Because it compresses in terms of speed. It does not compress on IAS. So if you go 700 speed or higher, about 750 I think it is, and you will lose all your ability to turn. It's the same at lower altitude, but at high altitude you will reach those speeds much quicker. 6 or 750 speed is absolutely nothing. Pair it with the fact that you are very vulnerable. You are pretty small and hard to hit. But if people hit you, you're very often looking at a fire in the fuel tank or your engine getting one shot. Both of those are no bueno, and you are going to be looking for a trip back to the hangar, and if you're lucky, a trip back to your airfield. But this G8N1 is littered with guns. I can basically not turn because I'm only going 450 IAS here, and I'm already compressing. It is very obnoxious, but hey, what can you do about it? So we throttle all the way back down to 0%. And look at the speed bleed. I'm in a very slight dive and I'm just maintaining this 800 speed. and I can't slow down whatsoever, so I can't really try to pitch up into this guy and see if I can get a shot in, because well, I'm actually so damn fast that my loop is not going to be completed before I get my nose on. So we go up a little bit, we break off, we wait for some speed to bleed, and then the second we start getting an angle, we throttle back up, we try to get as closely as possible, we hit him again, this time it's another engine, and he still isn't dead. And at this point I'm kind of expecting something to happen, because I wasn't expecting an 8-kill game in this thing. Could have been 9 if I was a little bit more lucky with that T84, but you know, again, what can you do about it? We go straight, we do the exact same thing. We're gonna try to get in front of him or directly below. We are gonna pitch up, get as close as possible yet again, hit him, we kill him, and that's 8 kills. On to the next one. And we're gonna get 6 kills with ammo to spare this time, including a bomber. It's about 5 kills with 40 rounds, I think it was. 5 kills with 50 rounds, something like that. And all of these clips are basically just a flex, just to show you that these guns are plenty strong and that the ammo isn't a problem. Do keep in mind, your mileage may vary depending on your aim, but I'm just saying that if you hit the guns, they are plenty strong, and the characteristics of the plane make it so that you can basically have infinite amount of shots on people, making your low ammo basically not really a problem, because you can stall everyone out and kill them with 5 to 10 rounds. And it doesn't really matter how bad your aim is, if people are not moving at all, I mean, is it really that hard of a shot if you stall them out? And with this thing, energy fighting basically comes naturally, because you don't really have to put any effort into it. Of course, if you put effort into it, you are virtually untouchable. But we've been over that already. So we kill one of the attackers yet again, just as in the previous game. And we are now looking to engage the fighters that are 2 to 3 kilometers above us. And even though they are completely above us, this plane negates any kind of positioning you have on it. It just doesn't matter unless you are on a jet and maybe have something like all aspect missiles like R60Ms. Then yeah, this thing becomes pretty dead. But hey, luckily they are not at 6.3 yet. So this F2G thinks about pitching up to stall us out. So what do? We pitch straight up. Arado here tries to ram him out of the air. He just notices and dodges him. But the F2G now is way too slow. Few rounds, down he goes. BI comes up here trying to steal my kill. No sir, that is mine. And we just fly away now. And no, I'm not serious about stealing. Please, put your pitchforks away, please. Thank you very much. And we are just gonna get some separation here and again become the third party. Ki-83 there goes head on with an F2G, gets set on fire, instantly dies, gets nothing out of it. Going head on with people, especially when you are in a big fragile plane, probably not the best idea. So what do we do now? We are just gonna be looking to fly around, seeing who wants to engage us, and the second anyone turns for us, well, we are just gonna play with our food, because that's what you do. He gets on a 6, so I'm gonna be throttling down. I want him to actually gain some ground on us. I want him to catch me, because the second he starts catching me, he probably starts getting a neuron activation and instantly full sends it for us. And there he comes. I start turning a little bit, I lose a little bit of speed, he starts catching us, and he instantly takes the bait and is now basically dead. We drop the flaps, we throttle up a little bit, and again we get out of his guns, and now we can drop the throttle to get behind him, drop the flaps again, increase that turn rate, still 0% throttle. He's gonna pick up more speed than us because of the characteristics of his plane, but it's gonna go straight up and he might be able to get a stall shot in, and I'm not really feeling it, so I'm just gonna bail out. And that's then the beauty of this thing. If you mess up even a slight amount, it doesn't matter, because you don't really mess up until you die, because you just get infinite resets. F2G again coming for us. He's gonna again try to go head on. I dodge it by rolling out of the way. 0% throttle yet again, and this time I know he's actually gonna try to keep his speed, so I'm not gonna bleed as much as I did previous time. And now I'm gonna maintain my speed a little bit. We get on the 6, we throttle back up, and look how slow he is, and we have all the position in the world. He then tries to extend away, which is just not gonna happen. Very unfortunate. We shoot 2 rounds and he gets a crit. We are now riding his ass pretty firmly, and he is damaged, so there's really nothing he can really do anymore. Just waiting for a good shot. And click. There goes another part of his elevator. And we're gonna do it again. And click. Boom goes the tail. And that's gonna be kill number 3. And now that's an LA9, excuse me, as well as an F7F. It's an F7F1 however. And well, it's not gonna eat us for breakfast because we are not a jet, we are actually a rocket plane. So suck on that, Spitfire. F7F ain't got nothing on us. We go ahead on with him. He is probably the least dangerous of these two. LA9 is also not very good, but at least it has some kind of flight characteristics. But we just fly up over the F7F. We dodge his head on. And then we pull back in for the LA9 because he is taking a very bad line here. He is essentially stalled out and click, click. Just kidding. We can't aim today. And we just go straight back up. Make sure that the F7F doesn't get a shot on us as we are busy and occupied with the LA9. He is going to be trying to dive out, trying to dodge us. But hey, doesn't matter. We click, he gets crit. We click again, underlead completely. And he's about to fly into the ground. Not just yet. Nice attempt here and trying to dogfight me, but it's simply not going to happen in this thing. So we are going to shoot him one more time. Actually, scrap that. He is going to go and build a treehouse so he can land right in the middle of that field. And that's going to be kill number 5. And now there's a TU2 directly above us, which we are going to finish off in the end as well. And how do you finish off a TU2? Well, you just pitch up straight for him, burn all your fuel, get close enough and then spray all your rounds at him. And that's really all there is to it. We missed the first pass, we are now very slow and this could have very easily killed me, but hey, who cares? I'm getting greedy, I want that number 6. But yeah, this is very lucky. I've been peppered with Berezins and Shikash rounds and they are in general, well, they like to start fires, but then I see that message that says enemy gunner is unconscious. He is crit already, so I'm just trying to stay below him because when I'm staying below him he's not shooting, which probably means that that's the gunner that actually died. We set him on fire, he instantly puts it out and now he's still spraying at us. But looks like he is on a one-way trip directly to his friend F7F that also is building a treehouse. So I'm just gonna wait for him to crash. I can't really full send after him because I'm gonna compress completely and build a treehouse with the TU2, I guess. But that's all I have for you today. Quite a longer video. I had a lot of footage. It's pretty old at this point, but all of it should still be basically relevant since nothing really changed. Just waiting for the TU2 to hit the ground. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend and I will see you all next week.